I just want to talk about how the Holy Spirit can move people.
Okay.
I'm gonna move my mic. Oh, I dropped something out then.
We can hear you.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Uh, I want to talk about how the Holy Spirit, how He can move you and you not even know He's doing it. I was speaking in Panama City at a medical convention. There was
Mm-hmm.
doctors, and nurses, and all these people there. It was a charismatic medical convention. When it was over, had a big long altar call. They'd start at 6:30 and we get through about midnight. And I had a lady come to me, a lady and a man, and they said, "We need you to come by our house." I said, "Well, it's nearly 1 in the morning, you know." They said, "Doesn't matter. Go down the cove to such and such a street and take a left, and it's the first house on the right." I said, "Okay, it'll be a while." So when I left there, I was so broke. I'm riding an old Honda Dream 300. Nobody knew that. They thought, as far as they knew, I was driving a Cadillac. But I rode that thing down Cove Boulevard, and I turned right instead of left. First house on the right, knocked on the door, and I'm really going to make it short as I can.
No, go
A
ahead.
lady cracked the door about this far, and it was so heavy. I mean, the air was heavy. And she said, "What do you want?" I said, I I thought this was where so and so lived. She said, "No, you should have turned left. It's on the other side over there." Went to shut the door, and I put my foot in the door. "You better not do today."
Yeah.
And I said, "Can I talk to you a minute? I'm a minister. I know I don't look like it, so, but I am, and I'm just believing that God sent me to your place because, to be honest with you, I said it's heavy coming out of there. There's heavy," and she just put her head down, and tears run down her cheek, and
Wow.
I said, "Can you let me just come in and pray for you?" She said, "Or come out here." She said, "Come on in, open the door." I walked in. She had a loaded 357 cocked, standing behind her, holding it behind her back, was just fixing to
Oh,
blow
wow.
her brains out. Her
Oh,
husband had left her and her teenage son 4 years before, never heard a word, didn't know where he was, didn't know nothing. And the boy, she sent the boy to the other end of this long house to kill herself so he would be in the room with her. And she
wow.
told him, said, "When you hear a noise back here, call the police. Don't come back here." And so got sharing with her, and I got this demon off of her, this
Right.
suicide demon, and which you don't hear talk about much. I got
Right.
him off of her. I led her to the Lord and into the baptism of the Holy Spirit. I'm going fast here. It wasn't quite that
Take
fast.
your time. Take your time.
By now I'd gotten the gun and I, uncocked it and put it aside. And I said, "Where'd your son? Where'd you say he was?" She said, "Down the inside." I said, "Get him." Got him down there, told him what had almost happened.
Right.
Get him to the Lord, into the baptism of the Holy Spirit. And we all prayed there together.
Wow.
And when I got ready to leave, I said, I'm gonna pray, and I'm scared. Every time I tell this, I think, "Don't ever do that again, Jack." I said, "We're gonna pray, and your husband is going to call you within the next." And I'm thinking, give a break, give it
Yeah. Right.
24 hours. I said 24 hours.
Uh huh.
And she said, "I believe that. I believe that." And so the boy just hugged me, and she did too. And I got on a motorcycle. Here I am going back out. I didn't go to the other house. I was heading home. Gave her my phone number. And when I got home, Mariana, that's 60 miles, 65 miles from the cove. And when I pulled up the driveway and got in the house, Shelly said, she woke up and said, "There's a phone number by the phone in the hall." That lady said, "Call her no matter when you got here." I said, "Okay." Now that's the kind of wife you need.
Right. Oh,
She
yeah.
didn't care what this woman wanted. It did not matter to her.
Right.
I called her up and she was crying and I said, "What's happened?" She said, "Nothing bad has happened."
Uh huh.
She said, look at that, I'm about to show my keys over here. She said, "Your motorcycle had not gotten out of our hearing when the phone rang, and it was my husband calling
Wow.
over 4 years." And she told him what happened to her. And he said, he was a pilot. He said, "I'm flying down. I will leave tonight and fly down. I'll leave here before daylight and fly down there."
Right.
And so when he got there, they met me somewhere else, and I led him to the Lord and into the baptism of the Holy Spirit because I mean these two are fired up, this
Right.
woman and her son. And to make the rest of that long story short, he wound up going to seminary and getting into ministry, and he died in the ministry.
Oh, wow.
And when you see this picture,
Right.
see around my neck, see it cross?
Yes.
Okay, that's the same one I'm wearing now.
Oh, my goodness.
He gave me that cross right there, and
Wow.
that was in 1973.
Oh my goodness, that was the beginning of the Jesus movement. The magazine just came out. Well, obviously it began in the 60s, but
Yep, that cross never pleased me.
we were talking about the Holy Spirit, how the Holy Spirit leads you.
And when we don't even know we're being led, I mean, we just need to just, and you know what makes it work? It's trust.
Trust.
Plain trust. You know, when you go up to a crowded intersection and cars going everywhere,
Right.
and you've got to stop, you don't start praying over your brakes. And
Right.
You just trust them because they've always stopped, right?
Right.
Same way with God.
Yeah.
We just trust him because he's always done it right.
Well, the more you look back on I love the way you talked about where, you know, people say, "Oh, Jack, how did you do this?" And Jack, how did you do that? Tell us about tell us about the football field. Tell us about the football field. And you go to pick the ball up.
Yeah, I tell him, I say, my best ministry was a forward fumble. And if I happened to kick the ball enough that it went across the goal line, I fell on it, everybody cheered. I'm a hero.
Well, you know, because you're following God.
Yeah.
And the moment you say you're not following God, then you're not following God.
Exactly right.
And
People used to say, Gino preached Sunday, and he said, Jack taught us early that said people would tell him, said, I don't believe in the miracles. Said Jack would just tell them, well, you won't be bothered with them, so don't worry.
Yeah, right. I love when Gino on your 80th birthday, believe it or not, you're watching him right now. He's 81, 82, 81.
I'll be 82 next month.
Look at this. He makes us look. Anyway, so Gino said, he was so funny. Everybody was so funny. So he said, you know, I just want you to know, because everybody's talking good about you and saying these wonderful things about you. And so Gino says, I just want you to know that the reason why Jack was able to accomplish this stuff was because of me.
And if I had not been there, I don't know what would happen.
Yeah. And he kind of gets us at the very end. He's like, is this about me or who's this about? Who are we talking about? Me? And that's when Quentin blew the horn and got him off the stage.
Yeah, people don't know Gino because he did all that bragging on Gino, and when he got through, he was through. He never did talk about me.
Yeah.
He needs to say something, but that's not Gino.
Right. I like him, and I like I love your son, man. Of course he's the police, you know.
Yep.
And he's been your son all of his life, but he's just such a guy he's such a good person. You know what I'm saying?
He was 14 when he got saved in my living room.
14. That's Gino was.
That was 51 years ago.
Wow. Thank you for watching the Greg Lancaster Show. Don't forget to follow us, like us, and subscribe. Go to our YouTube channels, Facebook, Instagram, Rumble, Parler, Spotify, iTunes. Download our app, even on Getter. Go to the Apple Store and rate us. When you rate us, more people will get the broadcast. That's how this whole logarithm thing works. And thank you for watching the Greg Lancaster Show.